Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brian Rossborough, Mason Ainsworth, and Joanne Albert to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the 2019 AMO Conference. My name is Brian Rossborough and I'm the director of AMO's Membership Center. And I'm very pleased to be here this morning to participate in the launch of AMO's Youth Engagement Initiative. You'll hear a little bit more about it and learn about our fundraising initiative in just a moment. So just a little bit of background from me before I introduce Mason and Joanne. Earlier this year, the AMO board approved a new youth engagement initiative intended to engage young people in municipal governance and to encourage young people to think about running for municipal office. Recognizing that there was already excellent work underway within our sector to encourage young people to consider careers in municipal public administration, the board asked us to focus on municipal governance and politics. I'd like to acknowledge the great work of AMO staff Leslie Muñez and Adam Garcia, who put the youth engagement program together and will help us implement the initiative in the year ahead. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Mason Ainsworth. Mason is a councillor from Orillia. He also happens to be the youngest member of the AMO board, and he'll tell us a little bit about the initiative. And following Mason's remarks, Joanne Albert, Mayor of the Municipality of Tweed and AMO board member, will tell us about the fundraising for the initiative and make a very important prize draw. Mason?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brian. Good morning, AMO. I know it's early, but good morning. So just to test the room a little bit, who's their first time here? Show of hands. Wow, that is a big percentage of the room. So thank you so much for joining the AMO family. We have quite an exciting conference planned for you. But before I get into my remarks, I know a few people asked last night why I have a beard, because I didn't before. Actually, getting married in 47 days. So if I look a little nervous, it's not because I'm up here, it's because I'm getting married. So, But anyways, I'm 27 years old and a councillor, and I got to apologize to Steve Clark later today when we get into the bear pit, because before me, he was the youngest AMO board member ever, and now I have taken that title, which is pretty exciting. So with that being said, I feel fairly confident talking about youth initiatives and youth programming in the future. And I can tell you when we brought this up at the AMO board, the people were very supportive around the board. They want to help youth in the future and get them more engaged within AMO and other groups. So our initiative intends to heighten the influence of younger voices in the AMO and with the work that we do, and getting some more representation, and also looking around getting some more presence at the AMO conference in the future, as well as our other partner conferences out there. We want to employ new communication channels to encourage youth to get more engaged with the municipal sector, as well as profile youth engagement activities underway in Ontario municipalities. So I'm sure each of you have something going on with youth in your communities. If you don't, we're going to help you work on that. So it's exciting. I don't know if you saw some of the slides a bit earlier. Now I see my big face up there. But there's some slides about some of your municipalities and the great work that they're doing. So we want to make sure we highlight some of that stuff when it comes to youth. And today I'm pleased to launch two specific initiatives for you. So the big announcement that I was talking to a few of you about before, and the first is our AMO Youth Fellows Program. So I don't know if anyone's got their wallet or their purse on them, but we will get to you in a little bit once we get to Joanne. Beginning this fall, AMO will be implementing a new program, and we're going to create 3 youth fellowships this year. And so those 3 youth are be coming from all over the province. And what are they going to be doing? That's the real question. They're going to be getting engaged with us, which is phenomenal. They're going to interact with the AMO board. They're going to receive mentorship from some of the AMO board members. So I know firsthand, being on the AMO board, a lot of folks have reached out to me and said, hey, can I help you with this? Can I talk you through these things? And it's really nice that I've felt that support. So we want to pass that on to some more youth across the province, get them involved in the municipal sector. But not only are we going to do that, we're also going to put them to work, which is pretty exciting. We're going to get them involved in some initiatives and also get them to present in the future conferences about what they've been up to. And if you're wondering and you have some people in mind within your communities, you want to get them involved in this program because it's going to be phenomenal, there is an application process coming forward. It's going to be released in the fall, and it'll be in time for the AMO Youth Fellows placement in 2020. The second initiative that's coming forward is something near and dear to my heart, which I'll get into in a bit, but is the AMO Youth Advisory Committee. And what that's going to do is going to assist AMO in the future in regards to youth engagement and bring a youthful lens and more of a perspective on things when we talk about them. And I'm also pleased to announce the initial composition of that committee. And I apologize if some of these folks are here, and if I do butcher their names, I'm sure when I first meet them down the road that they will tell me if I got their names wrong or not. Our first one is Kirby Rauco, a councillor in the city of Kenora. Ariella Kabaga, councillor in the city of London. Kelsey Santa Rosa, councillor in the town of Lakeshore. Jasvinder Sandhu, councillor in the town of Oakville. And Cameron Wales, councillor in the city of Brockville. So let's give those folks a hand. Really excited. If you're here, please put your hand up. Okay, I don't see anyone here, but it's okay. It's still early. And then I'm also honored to announce that I'm the first ever chair of our Youth Advisory Council. So very excited to take that role and to help this program along in the future. And I thank all of you for your support. When we get to Joanne in a bit, I'm sure we're going to be reaching into some of your pockets to get some of that money to help this program go forward. And with that being said, I will bring up Joanne, and we will take some of your money. So thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm at the other end of the scale. I do want to, I'm young, but at the other end. I'm delighted to be here this morning for the launch of the AMO Youth Engagement Initiative. My municipality of Tweed, I have a 23-year-old councillor who's sitting on with us. He's here so this will be his first conference too. This is not the first you have heard of this initiative. At last year's conference, AMO announced that its conference fundraising efforts would be dedicated to youth engagement activities that would be launched at the 2019 conference. You have had the opportunity, or you will have, to purchase a $20 ticket when you were registering, and tickets will remain available at registration for the rest of today. There will also be people selling tickets in the exhibit hall and other locations. They have a black apron and a cowboy hat, so look for those people. There are some fantastic donated prizes available to be won with a number of draws occurring throughout the day. I want to take this opportunity to thank the AMO board members and others who have generously donated the prizes. This morning, I would like to thank Enbridge for their donation of an iPad, and that is what we're drawing for in a few minutes. What an amazing prize. And I should add that for these raffle prizes, you do not have to be in the room to win. We have your contact information on the ticket stub. So, welcome, have a great conference. Brian and Mason, let's pick our first winner. Well, Nina B. by Fulci. Is she here? Mayor at, it looks like she's mayor of Wasaga Beach. Is she here? Oh, good. Well, congratulations. Do we have the prize? No, we'll get that prize to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now please welcome to the stage Chief Kirby Whiteduck, Mayor Jim Watson, AMO President Jamie McGarvey, AMO Secretary Treasurer Trevor Wilcox.
Good morning, delegates. With me on stage is AMO President Jamie McGarvey, Ottawa Mayor Jim Watson, and Chief Kirby Whiteduck, Algonquins of Pikwakanagan, First Nation. We acknowledge we are meeting on the traditional lands of the Algonquins. You'll hear from them shortly. Delegates, thank you for joining us on this 120th gathering of municipal elected officials from across Ontario. Over 2,400 participants are here from across Ontario. Municipally elected officials, senior staff, government officials, exhibitors, sponsors, and speakers. We also have representatives from AMO's sister associations, the Association of Manitoba Municipalities, and the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. So a very warm welcome to all of you. A special shout out to our sponsors and exhibitors who want to be part of this incredible event. We are honored by your support. Allow me a moment for a couple of housekeeping items. Please be sure to download the AMO on mobile app. This is where any program alerts will be posted. And second, out of respect for speakers, please take a moment to put your device on vibrate or even turn it off so you don't miss anything. We have a full program, so without further delay, please stand to recognize this great nation and place in which we live with the singing of O Canada.
Good morning. I'd like to begin by thanking Mayor Watson and city staff, Ottawa Tourism, and local volunteers for their efforts in ensuring the AMO conference is a success. Mayor Watson, I certainly do feel welcome in your community and your beautiful city, and so pleased to be able to spend another week here in August. And on behalf of AMO and our delegates, thank you. And we have a plaque to commemorate that the AMO conference was here in 2019. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank you.
an opportunity for
Am I speaking
you
now?
to speak.
Well, thank you very much. Bonjour à tous. On behalf of my City of Ottawa colleagues, many of whom are in the room, it's my opportunity as Mayor of Ottawa to welcome you to your nation's capital and the AMO conference. Je suis heureux d'être ici présente aujourd'hui avec mes collègues du Conseil municipal pour dire bienvenue à la capitale nationale de notre pays. The City of Ottawa is once again very pleased to host this conference, and I'd like to thank the AMO President, Jamie McGarvey, for coming to Ottawa and choosing Ottawa once again this year. And I want to extend a warm welcome to my fellow mayors, councillors, and hardworking municipal staff, and of course, the love of everyone's life, Hazel McCallion is with us again. Hazel, welcome. I hope you are enjoying your stay in the nation's capital, and I'd like to acknowledge that we are on the unceded territory of the Algonquin people who have lived on these ancestral lands for millennia. We value our relationship with our surrounding Algonquin communities, Pikwakanagan and Kitigan-Zibi, as well as all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit residents of Ottawa. And we are very fortunate to have Chief Kirby Whiteduck, who will be speaking in just a moment, from the Algonquins of Pikwakanagan. Thank you, Chief Whiteduck, for being with us. It's a special honor to have you join us in these opening ceremonies. Like many of the cities and towns you represent, Ottawa is facing challenges and several exciting opportunities. Municipalities are being challenged with significant funding uncertainty, aging infrastructure, among others. And like many of you, the City of Ottawa will be heading into our fall budget deliberations with many of these challenges unresolved and at the forefront of our discussions. Often municipalities must deal with those challenges with or without certainty from other orders of government. As you can likely relate, budgeting for multiple potential policy outcomes can bring trials to decision makers, but it can also bring new possibilities to do things differently. This is the task faced by all municipalities, all 444, in the next few months. Ultimately, each order of government shares the same taxpayer, which is why it is so important that we work together with our provincial partners to find mutual priorities to improve the lives of all of our residents. It's critical that we continue to stress to the province that they should not download provincial responsibilities to municipalities, and they must respect our annual budget processes. Collectively, with the leadership of AMO, we fought long and hard to get these services uploaded to the responsible level of government, the province, and we don't want to see ourselves backsliding on that important matter of principle that Hazel and I worked on when I was minister and she was very involved with the upload table. The annual AMO conference provides an important opportunity to share best practices, speak about our individual and collective successes, and also outline lessons learned. AMO provides a venue to ask tough questions of each other and to present concrete information on how policy decisions impact the residents we all serve. And in addition to these substantive policy discussions, AMO is also an opportunity to catch up on what is happening in our respective communities. So if I could just take a moment to update you on some activities in our city. We're a growing city. Just 2 months ago, we reached the 1 million population mark, which is pretty exciting. Our economy is increasing and diversifying, and we're experiencing new and exciting developments like our brand new light rail transit line, which is set to open next month. So when you come back to AMO next year, you'll be able, hello Michael McSweeney is here, a former councillor who probably started talking about trains back 30 years ago. The trains will be rolling this September, and you'll be able to take a ride going east-west, north-south next year at the AMO conference. We're planning for a new branch of our public library, and this year we're undertaking an important discussion to update our official plan. I wanted to take an opportunity today to acknowledge and thank all of you for the work that you do on behalf of your constituents in every part of the province. I know the long hours that you put in and the hard work that you have to face each and every day going into the office. I also know that you're being asked to have tough conversations and to implement policy that at times can be complex to explain to residents. But I think we can all agree that for the most part, it is very rewarding work. Community building can be messy, but it's also rewarding. Let's continue to work collaboratively in the future as we strive continuously to improve our cities, towns, and villages. And let's keep those lines of communications open to have these important discussions. I want to finally say thank you for taking the time to be here. I know many of you have other jobs and you have your responsibilities as reeves and wardens and councillors and mayors and CAOs and clerks. But I think it's important that we have a good show of support when we meet our provincial counterparts. Before I finish, I want to take a moment to extend my best wishes to Executive Director Pat Vanini, who recently announced her retirement. Pat has done a wonderful job working in different roles with AMO for the past 23 years. I had the honor of working closely with her when I served as Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. She was a great partner during those very successful uploading discussions. Pat began her time at AMO as a senior policy advisor, and as she progressed through the ranks, her role and responsibilities increased, and she was appointed the organization's executive director in 2002. I want to thank Pat for her dedicated service to municipal governments for so many years. Your leadership and commitment will be missed. And I'd ask that you come up because, as all good mayors, we have a plaque for you. And this plaque is also worth 1 hour of free parking in Ottawa. Congratulations, Pat. Thank you for a great job. I also, at this moment, want to congratulate AMO's incoming Executive Director, Brian Roseborough. Brian brings with him a wealth of experience with his 28-year career in public policy and public administration, and we wish him the best in his new role. Finally, I extend my best wishes to all of the delegates to have a very successful and productive conference. Thank you again for choosing Ottawa. We're honored to have the event here this year and again next year, and look forward to seeing you over the course of the next couple of days. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
I'd now like to invite Chief Kirby Whiteduck of the Algonquins of the Pikwakanagan First Nation to bring welcome remarks.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here, and on behalf of the Algonquins of Pikwakanagan First Nation and the Algonquin people, I welcome you to unsurrendered Algonquin traditional territory, and to the conference being held here in Ottawa, which is also the seat of the nation's capital. Also located in here is a number of different embassies, the Supreme Court of Canada, where major decisions are decided with respect to issues and disputes across the country. And all this is on unsurrendered Algonquin territory where there is no treaty, which is really basically a condition, I guess, of settlement and occupation of First Nation territory. I'd also recognize that I understand that Chief Ava Hill of Six Nations is supposed to be in attendance. I'm not sure if she's here right now, but I recognize her. I also understand that there are 3 or 4 Indigenous or Aboriginal mayors of municipalities, so I think that's something to look forward to as First Nations people become more involved in outside of the reserves, which I think is a change eventually over time. And I think it shows in that we're becoming more accepting of each other, and recognizing that we all need to work together. I think that's kind of my message would be, we all need to work together. I think we have to, in order to do that, we have to recognize and understand that there are differences, and in our case, there are different rights. People will call them special rights. I don't call them special, because we've always had them. I call them maybe different rights. And First Nation Aboriginal people have had to work really hard and to fight really hard, including going to the Supreme Court, to have rights recognized, and the courts have recognized that we have Aboriginal rights and title, and that's because we were here before the Europeans came here, and they're considered to be pre-existing rights. And I think they can continue to exist in today's society, and in order to work together, we have to both recognize that we're going to still be here, remain here, and our children and our grandchildren are going to be here in the province, just as yours are. And I think we all can work together with those differences. And as I said, there are a number of reasons, even more so today, that we need to work together. We've been working, for example, in developing a good relationship with the City of Ottawa, with Mayor Watson and his council. We're currently working on a civic cultural protocol with the city. Our flag flies permanently at outside of City Hall. We have an annual general meeting that we have with the mayor and some of his staff. Scheduled, this one is for September, where we update each other and see what kind of things we can do together. We're also working with the County of Renfrew on an economic development training protocol. We've also had different open houses with the different mayors and the reus of the county, Renfrew County. So So in our case, like, we are kind of proactive, trying to develop relationships with our neighbors, even such a small thing as having a ribbon opening ceremony for some flower boxes on the bridge between the reserve and the neighboring North Gold Forest Township, where we invite each other there to talk about the flowers and the bridge and how it connects the reserve and the township and into the county. So even things like that are helpful in establishing a relationship. And I think, I understand you have a youth initiative. That kind of caught my attention, because I think it's very important to involve the youth, because eventually they are going to be replacing us. And I think they need to be involved in determining what the future may look like. You want to have them be trained and have some knowledge of what has to be done in order to continue on the processes and the objectives of each municipality and the association. So I commend you on that one. And I think finally then, about working together, I think we all need to work together. And I think the whole country needs to work together, as well as pretty well. It would be great if every country in the world could work together, because I think now more than ever we need to. I think if you watch the news, catch glimpses of the news on a daily basis, you can see all the issues across the country, across the world. Forest fires, heat waves, floods, earthquakes, tsunamis, and all these things that are weather conditions that are becoming kind of unpredictable. And I think that's because people and countries are not working together. If you don't work together, then you must be working for yourself. And we need to be helping each other for our children and our grandchildren, and then as well as for Mother Earth. We had our powwow this weekend, and kind of the message was that Mother Earth is a living thing, and if you don't treat it properly, then it reacts, and it doesn't like whatever is making it sick or ill. And I guess if we don't treat it properly, then there may be a different species in the future that will take our place, because of all you see all these events, heat waves, right? People are dying. Even in Siberia, people are dying. Heat waves in China, out west, Alberta, BC, heat waves, fires. And what happened yesterday? 30 centimeters of snow in August, you know? So these things are threatening us, threatening the planet. So I think we all need to work together, and that's kind of what my message is. And hopefully the municipalities over the next couple of days will find ways and things that concern everybody, and that you find ways to work together on those issues. So again, welcome, and miigwech, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief, for your thoughtful remarks. Delegates, we wish you an engaging and insightful conference. Now President McGarvey will introduce the next speaker.
Thanks, Trevor. I'm pleased to kick off our main stage activities with our opening speaker, Max Valaket. Anointed by Marketing Magazine as one of Canada's most influential marketeers, Max has been at the forefront of what's now, what's new, and what's next for the past 20 years. He has worked with some of the biggest companies in the world to help them transform their organizations, their businesses, and their brands. Max's entrepreneurial drive led him to found Youthography, the groundbreaking millennial marketing company. He is currently the Chief Strategy Office at Diamond Integrated Marketing. You can also see Max on Entertainment Tonight or MTV talking about popular culture, speaking to the Wall Street Journal or NPR about organizational transformation or innovation, or writing about marketing and branding for strategy and hosting their Agency of the Year awards. Thank you to Ernst and Young LLP for sponsoring our keynote speaker. Please join me in welcoming Max Falaket.